and get y'all on the computer as well so I can see your comments. I'm looking at my thumbnail right now. Surprise. All right. Y'all got me barefoot and in the kitchen. All right. So much going on today. It's been a little crazy. Let me see, make sure you can see everything that's going on. Y'all can see the press, you can see the table. I see I got one person here. What's good? I'm gonna do a demonstration and then I'm gonna take your questions for these masks. So then that way you get to see them in person, live and in full effect. Y'all forgive my mess, it reflects my day. But it's been productive, just been a little hectic. We did get out today. Let me pull this up a little bit because y'all don't see me. Here we go. We did get the graduation stoles out today. So those of you who ordered the blanks for that, we got those in the mail today. Hallelujah. That worked out well. They actually came in a day early because they weren't supposed to ship out until tomorrow. So I still have some left. If you all want, you can order them on innatelab.com. Get them while supplies last, because I probably won't be doing another order just because it's cutting it so close to graduation time. So right now they're only $6. I know a lot of other people are selling them for $10, $11, $12 a piece for the 60-inch stoles. So I didn't want to stress you all out like that because I asked you to give away a stole if I did the templates for $10. So pretty much, bless you. So pretty much what I did was, you know, tried to give you a deal on these stoles because I saw everybody else's prices hiking up. And I want to make sure that you had an affordable option to make sure you sealed your end of the deal. So I would like to see those. Make sure you post them in the Innate Creatives group. Even if you post them in other groups that's not Innate Creatives, you know, tag me so I get to see them because it makes me really proud. Let me see if I have any folks online at the moment. And I have my computer muted so it won't sound crazy. Y'all say something if you can hear me because I've never done this live from my phone before. So this is interesting. And I think, I'm looking for a hair tie. I want to put this mane up and out my face. I'm tired. What's up, G? All right. So I have my screen here where I can see you all chatting, so I don't have to keep running to the phone over there. Ooh, a little bit of everything. So I did a live earlier where I was doing the mock-up. So I changed the mock-up to reflect exactly what these masks look like. So there's going to be no confusion, no issues there. And G knows exactly what I'm talking about. He is also a supplier for the mask as well, so I'm giving him a shout out. But we're going in on this, and this is what I want you all to understand. Like, even though we could be considered competition, we're working together to order our supplies so that basically in this way we can afford to order the bulk supply, provide them at smaller quantities to, you know, to our friends and families and our customers, as well as to our local stores. So shout out to G. I feel like we're a good team. We complement each other well, and I appreciate you looking out for me on this and basically putting yourself out there first with these masks. And I want to make sure that I back you up completely because I did try them out. I do like them, and for the purpose that they serve, I think they are an excellent product. So I wanted to do this live. I know it's really late at night, so I'll do another session tomorrow as well, just demonstrating the masks, how to do them, and then that way if anyone has any questions or concerns, we can answer them live and go ahead, nip that in the bud, and let you know if this is the product for you or not. All right. right, so let's go ahead. Is it 10? Oh, yeah, it's 10 o'clock Central Time right now. So I'm actually on time. What? All right, so I have a template. The template for the outline is free. Okay. This template is going to be just so that you know what size to print, what's going to be in your printable area, where your bleed needs to be, and then also it saves you from printing all of this excess area around here. So you're going to be able to print directly on this 13 by 19 sheet or 11 by 17 sheet without any issue. The image itself is about 15 inches wide by I'll say 10 inches tall, a little under 10 inches tall. But if you have a 11 by 17 or 13 by 19, it'll fit perfectly on there. Now, we're going to try a couple of different methods today, depending on what you have on hand. So, my preferred method is to use the spray tack. If we use a spray tack, then we can we don't have to trim the print, anything like that. So that's the method that we're going to use first. And if you have any questions while I'm going along, feel free to chime in and ask those questions. So we'll get going, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing from here. If I need to adjust, y'all just let me know. If you can't see something, let me know, and I will definitely accommodate as much as I can. Most everything in here is on wheels for a reason, so that we can adjust it for your viewing pleasure. All right, so for the spray, I have this Eco Mist adhesive. I also recommend Condi's Pro Trans Spray, and that one is a little more tacky. I prefer it. However, this Eco Mist adhesive, I like it better for when I'm spraying indoors or when I'm spraying a lot. Like if I'm doing a lot of socks, because I do the taco method, and I did a short video on the taco method for the socks. Definitely watch that. I use the spray adhesive to kind of seal the sock in the fold and go ahead and press it twice, but not having to worry about flipping it. So that is definitely my go-to spray adhesive. This one or Condi Trans Pro Spray. So I recommend that you do this spray inside of a box or something. Now I have this box sitting up just so you could see, but normally my box is down, and then what I do is I turn the flaps up so that it catches any of the overspray. And I think I have some apples back there, so hopefully the apples don't get sprayed. They're still in the bag, they're brand new. You know what we do for demonstration purposes. All right, so I'm going to lightly spray about 6 to 8 inches from the surface. I'm going to make sure that my nozzle is clean and clear. If you have any gunk in that nozzle, it's likely that it's going to spit some mess onto your print area. And of course, if it leaves globs, then it will not print the image in that area, and it'll leave like a white spot. So let's go ahead. And as a matter of fact, you know what? I need to go grab some masks. So give me just a second. I'll go around this corner and grab y'all some masks so we can demonstrate. All right, so I'm back, and this is 50 masks here. So you can imagine that 50 masks can be shipped in a pretty much a priority envelope at a flat rate. We do $9.99 flat rate shipping. So this is going to be what your mask looks like, blank, and I'm going to be a little helpful and bring it up here for you. So I'm holding it up to the light right now, and you can't see through it. So it's not like those thinner materials. It feels almost like a compression material. So it has that spandex in it. It has a lot of stretch. It's not gonna pop on the ears. As a matter of fact, somebody was like, stretch the ears out and show me. Here you go. If you got ears like that, you probably won't be able to use this kind of mask. If your ears are that big, you need a custom cut mask. But yeah, so it's not gonna break. You put it on, I'll show you. I have a little glossage on right now, but I'm gonna show you how you fold it. And really and truly, what I'm gonna do before I put this on, I'm going to set it up under the heat press because I'm a little bit weary of stuff right now. So I'll put it under heat press, make sure it hits that 80 degrees that kills the coronavirus. So the other thing you can do, you can pre-wash them and all that stuff. You probably not, but before you wear them at least, you should wash them. But since I'm going to do a demo, I'm going to be the dummy. I'm going to go ahead, set it up underneath this heat, and I'll just do a quick little pre-press on it, just so, you know, it's 400 degrees. It's going to definitely kill that aroma, okay? And it's hot. All right. So I'm going to put it on for you. White, and then I'll put it on once it's dyed, and you'll get the understanding of how much different it looks when it actually has an image on it. All right, so when you put it on, I'm gonna place one side over the ear. Y'all get to see my my true Native American ears here with my little ears hanging low. And the bottom flap can be shortened. And you will see, like you can see my impression of my face through here. But what I do is I wear this over my surgical mask, which I left in the vehicle. But yeah, so when I was out running errands today, going to the post office, I had on my surgical mask, and it looks, you know, it does look a little intimidating with everyone walking around like that. So I put the fabric mask on top of it, and it, you know, you do a funny mask or do one with a message, and it's definitely going to get you some attention and possibly even some business. So again, that's what they look like. I'm not going to press this one because I stretched it out, and I want it to lay flat, so I'm going to do another one. But this is the top flap. You let it hang down, and then you can also press it the other way if you rather have the length in the front, rather hang it lower there. You can press it this way, but then you don't get the 2-ply. So I prefer to have the 2-ply so that I can place something in between there. And you can place a napkin in between there. You can place a filter between there, but it doesn't have a pocket for one. So I'm working on something for that as a solution, and it's a solution that you all will be able to implement. But for the most part, it's not really a filtered mask. I don't want anyone to get that type of impression. It's a fashion mask. And the fashion mask you can place over your surgical mask. You can put filters in there. You can modify it how you need to feel safe. But for the most part, this is something that you're going to be able to make look cool. And it's really easy to have a bunch of these ready to go. So when you go to one location, you can have a backup clean one. Put that one in some kind of sealed container, pull this fresh one out, and go on about your next errand or whatever you have to do next for the day. So without further ado, let's get to pressing it. I didn't spray my image yet because I wanted to show you all what the mask looked like. Hold that over there for a second. Like I said, they're nice and opaque. I do like that about it, and I like the stretchiness. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and spray this image. And I'll move my other ones out of the way. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing right here. Give it a shake and spray. This. Now the reason why I like the spray method is because I don't have to blindly place my image on top of the fabric. And I hope that you can see that there. Let me turn it where I can see it better. And I'm ducking this light right now. So my flap goes to the top. And then of course you can see where the ears are. So I'm starting off the print. I'm finding my center, giving myself a good bleed area there. I'm dropping it, but I'm not letting it tack until I get it right where I want it. All right. And I want to make sure I get the bottom of Hulk's chin on there because that's going to be important to me. Go ahead and make sure I get to the bottom there. Then that way, whatever you have excess here at the top, it's always just extra. It's not required, not necessary. Some people don't even sublimate the entire mask. I just feel like it's appropriate because why not? If you can make it look really nice and fashion forward all the way around, that's the way to go. And you can also do both sides of this. So what we're going to do tomorrow, the kids are going to pick what they want on the other side of the graphic, and they're going to sublimate the other side, so they have reversible masks. All right, so let me show you a little bit closer up what that looks like. It's a little off, but that's what that bleed area is for. You see what that bleed do? Now, when you use the spray tack technique, like once you get it down, it is a little more difficult to shift it around, but it also makes it so that I can do all of this right now. And my art isn't slipping, or my fabric isn't slipping away from my art right now. So what I absolutely need is a piece of cover paper, or butcher paper. And I use these big sheets, and I can just fold that in half. And that way it's my bottom and my top cover paper. I'm going to open up there, place my graphic inside of the cover paper. And I don't have to trim it or anything. My image is going to fit right inside of there. And of course, we want the paper to be face down, back up, okay? And I could give you a couple of references that'll make you remember that, but I'm sure this might be a PG setting right now. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna press this for a full 60 seconds at 400 degrees. And while that's going, I'm gonna go ahead and prep the next thing. So the next method, if you don't have the tack spray, what you want to do is go ahead and trim your print. Now you have a good bleed on here, so you don't have to be so extra perfect. But I'm going to be clean and neat because it's going to help me find my center. And then this is going to be a blind placement. So this is one where we're going to place the paper on top of the fabric. So we're going to really make sure that we have a good idea of what we're placing. Now some of you may be able to place blindly depending on whether the graphic is dark enough. You'll be able to see right through the paper. This is pretty opaque paper, so it's hard to see through it. But if I had a dark enough image, I could see through it. So I'm just telling you, at the very least, this is the step that you'll have to do if you don't have the spray. All right, let me place that down just in case it's getting a little hot. And you want to go ahead and immediately remove the paper from the fabric. Let's see what we have here. And this is hot off the press for real. Look at that green. Look how that green pops, y'all. Whew. It's kind of hard to see from this camera, but it is really hard to see from this camera. This lighting is horrible. But this green is really popping. Yeah. And what I did for this image, if you can see, this image is like a square right here on the face. And all I did was take that green color, I matched it from his face, and I just pulled it in as a gradient from the sides and from the top so that I get a full image. So if you can see here, yeah, there I am, I'm the Hulk. All right, so I won't tell Levi that I put that on. All right, so that's one demonstration there. I'll put this to the side now. And we'll focus on our next technique, was to trim all the way around. And I'll use a fresh cover sheet for the next one. So I'm almost done trimming this while I was talking, but this can be a little bit of a tedious process. So if you have a lot of these to do, you may not want to do it this way. But this will also help you find your center. The problem sometimes with doing the full square is you don't really know what's pressing and what you might be missing. So if you do the shape and you cut all the way around it, you have a much better idea. So again, we'll get cover paper here. And this time, we'll still fold it in half. But when I open it, I'm going to place my fabric on the bottom. So my fabric mask is going on the bottom. And there is, You can call it a front and a back. It's a little bit, it's a knit. So on one side it's got the courses and on one side it has the wells. Ask me how I know that, because one of my bachelor's and my first master's is in textiles. But it doesn't matter because this is so tight of a knit that you can't tell the difference from the front and the back. And that's why you can use it as double-sided too. So it really doesn't matter which side you press. And this one, oh, this is the one with my lip gloss on it. Get a fresh one. And you can pre-press these if you want to get moisture and wrinkles out, but they lay really flat. As a matter of fact, can you see? Yeah, they lay really flat. So I don't do extra work that I don't have to do. So in this case, I'm not going to pre-press it, but if you want to see me pre-press it, just imagine that I did it. All right, and if you're that type of person that has to do the same process every time and it helps you not mess up, do your processes. Do your lint rolling, do your pre-pressing, everything that I'm telling you to do, but I probably don't do myself. Do all of that. And what I'm doing when I'm shifting this is how I make sure that I have a good bleed. The part that matters to me the most is the bottom of the mask, okay? The top of the mask is just excess, so I don't care if I have too much of a bleed, not enough bleed, it's okay. But the very bottom of the mask, I want to make sure I clear it. So I start my graphic a little more towards the top, and then I inch it until I fully cover the bottom. And then I'm just filling here because I can't see through this paper. This is pretty good paper here. I found my fix on myself. This is Art in a Lab paper and ink. So y'all make sure that you check us out for that. I have it disabled right now because I'm trying to get the website together. But in just a couple of weeks, it's going to be full-fledged and on and popping. So just letting you all know that now before I blow up. Okay, so I'm just using my finger to feel where the fabric is, and I can tell where the raised areas are, that I'm clearing my fabric there. I feel good about it. I feel good, so let's do it. Don't second guess yourself. And I'm gonna go ahead and close that up. Let it go for a minute. And meanwhile, the next one. For this one, I was gonna show you how you could do it with the heat tape, but I don't recommend it. So I'll show it to you, but I just don't recommend it because the fabric is so kind of slinky when you have to use quite a bit of tape. And to me, it's not worth it to do it that way, but I'm gonna show it to you anyhow. Then that way you have a method where you don't have to trim, but you need to use the spray. You can trim and you don't have to use the spray. You can even not trim and blindly put this on. I don't suggest it, but that is absolutely your prerogative. You can do that. As a matter of fact, if you have a light table, you can take your cover sheet, put on the bottom, look through your light table, put your substrate down first, put your print on top of it, and try to close it up like I just did and move it to the press without shifting anything. That might take a little bit of magic too. So I'm suggesting method 1 or method 2. However, I'm going to give you some options because I know how it is when you're in a print. You just have to do what you have to do. So I remove that. Nice and hot. And this will be hot. This is definitely hot. I think it looks better from back here as far as the lighting goes. But I'm going to bring it up front so you can see what's going on with that. Full color. Those colors came out beautiful. And of course, this little model on here is gorgeous because she's my blood. That's my niece. So, yep, that's that one. So we have mask number 2 done. And that's the inside. And I labeled it inside so you would know. It flips down. You could basically put extra text back there if you wanted to. Maybe even a hidden message. Yes, they come off the press piping hot, G. So that's the second method. Came out just as good. Little extra work when it comes to trimming it, but if you don't have spray, that's your way to go. Now this next method, I'm going to use tape, and I'm going to show you like how much tape you really have to use if you're going to use a tape method. And let me go ahead and put down my cover paper because as soon as I take this thing, I'm going to want to go ahead and get it in place. because it's slinky and it likes to move. So if you choose to use this process, I just want to be transparent and show you how I would at least do it best as I can, okay? So let's see how many pieces of tape we can get away with, because I'm all about saving. So let's see. I'll do one on the right ear, one on the left ear, one across the top, and one across the bottom. Well, actually, that's the top and that's the bottom. And you want to be sure that you're not letting it buckle up at all. So that fabric just happened to give me a little bit of a bubble, and I want it to be extremely flat. Okay, so that's 4 pieces of tape. Let's see if I can flip it and those 4 pieces of tape actually hold this in place. So, moment of silence, and presto changeo. I think it's on there. Let's see, if I really want to check, my cover paper should be holding in place. Let me check. Are we good? And I could have, let me show you another. Instead of presto changing it on that side, you could have, if I had it over here just like I had before and I was taping it, you can take your cover paper. If you have a paper that's big enough, go ahead and fold it in half. And then that way you have something to hold it stable. So I'm sticking it into the fold like a pizza in the oven. I have it together, and then I'm going to flip it with the cover sheet. That way it keeps it in place. That wasn't so bad using the tape. Probably because I just freestyled that just now, but you know, that's what we creatives do. We're going to make some stuff up, make it work however we need to. So that's a full minute there. And this mask, I think I did it upside down. I want to say I did it upside down, so that it's more like a gator style. It's not really a gator, like that fully covers your neck, but it just drops a little bit lower. And then this does not give you the 2-ply look, so, or the 2-ply functionality. You end up having a little bit of fold over the nose so that you do have something that stays out of your eyes, but it hangs a little bit lower in the front. So if you like have a beard, or maybe you got a little bit of double chinage like I do, and you might want a little hang time, you can go ahead and use that method too. So I think that's how I did this one. Not sure though, because it's under the press right now. So we'll give it our full 60 seconds. And I've even pressed these for less than 60 seconds. So I've done 45 seconds at 400 degrees, and that little 15 seconds saves me time when it comes to production. But it just depends on what type of press you have. This is an old school, it's not the Insta, I think it's what the Insta brand was before it became the Insta brand. But this right here is a workhorse. Now, with this tape, I'm gonna let this cool a little bit, because if you try picking this thing up, especially without heat gloves or anything, you might mess yourself up. So, you know, I'll be the, and the other thing is, things with tape, you never want to pull the substrate when you're using tape and these type of things are hot, because you can stretch your substrate. Even though it's polyester, it's heated at 400 degrees. Anything at 400 degrees is a lot more pliable. So you want to make sure that you're not stretching your fabric, and then you end up with it being wavy, and you don't necessarily need that. So what I'm doing, and let me see if I can demonstrate this a little bit better up top. I'm pulling, and instead of pulling on the fabric, see, I have to pull on the fabric to get this off. I'm wedging underneath the tape, and I'm pulling the tape. So the tape is still tacked to the fabric. And that's how you want to remove it if you're using tape. Anytime you're using tape on an object that's stretchy. Now, if I was using glass or something like that, I probably would have no problem. Some of your harder substrates, no problem. But you're going to wait till that completely cools. And it's cooled off just that quick. So that's completely cooled. And now I can remove my tape, and I'm going to be very careful removing the tape. And this is affecting the edge, because this is no-sew. So when you're pulling it off, you're stretching that edge out, and I don't know if you can see that. I don't like what it did. It stretches my edge and it curls it, and potentially even pulls the fibers. And when it's pulling on those fibers, you have the propensity to pull on the knit. And when you pull on a knit, that's where how you get runs. So I thought the tape method was gonna be okay for me, but I don't like it. Maybe if I was taping only on the ears and the top and not on the bottom, because the bottom, you know, hangs. I mean, y'all be the judge of that. That's not what's up for me. Let me show you. See how they curled that up? I'm not in love with that. So tape method, I would say, is my least preferred method. I'd rather you blindly place it. Let y'all talk to my forehead. I'd rather you blindly place it than to use tape and end up with those edges, because this is supposed to be a no-sew option, which means it's supposed to be a quick production, quick out the door. People are selling these for $20 a pop without any artwork. So, and if you have to do artwork, keep it simple. We have a template and a mock-up for this. So the template is free. The mock-up is only going to be $5. But let me see if I can put this one on. This is the gator style. I'm trying not to get my lip gloss on this one. And then you can fold it under, roll it as much as you want to. I probably should have made this face a little bit. Oh, it's not on top of my ears. Y'all, this lip gloss is like sticking to this. There we go. And it is really comfortable over the ears. It does not pull on my ears at all. And I have really big ears, and I have like hangy ears, so it doesn't like make my ears fold up and look crazy. But I don't know how y'all walk around with masks with like with the fabric touching your lip. I wear the surgical mask so that it has something that gives me like a little poof, and then I put this on top of it. Because me and my chapstick and my lip gloss is not gonna work on this, but you get the idea here. So we have that one, and then I showed you Hulk. Hulk was done with the spray tag method. Our tie-dye one was done with the trim and blind placement. And then this one was done with the heat tape, but I'm not recommending the heat tape. I'd rather you blind place the image, even if you don't trim it, than to use the heat tape and potentially rough up your edges there. Okay, unless you have like a low-tack heat tape, which I haven't seen or dealt with that yet. So I'm gonna check the questions in the chat to see if y'all have any questions right now. Oh, Leslie, thank you. So let me know if you have like any questions, concerns about these, how you feel about them, because we're doing this one as pretty much a primary release. It's not our manufactured product. So if there's something that we can change or do different, I want to hear your feedback, because these masks are $2.50 a piece, so they're very inexpensive face covers. But if you want to do, I think it's more than 20, they'll be $2 a piece. So then that way you can go ahead and, you know, order them in a little bit of bulk, but not have to go crazy, and see how your customers like these. If you just walked around with a bunch of these with your logo on them, and that's what I want to talk about. I kind of want to get real with where you could be using these. Now, everybody's talking about doing these, let me pull this down a little bit so you can see me. So everybody's talking about doing these filtered masks, and for the most part, it is extremely hard for me to even find those filters that go inside of those masks. So at this point in time, I think it's more important to have something on your face when you're going around. And if you are wearing the surgical mask, in order to look more fashionable, have something on top of the surgical mask. Now, I know that some people are going to say that, yes, they can get the mask with the filters in them, but you're supposed to change those filters out, I think every 4 to 6 hours. So if you are, you know, wearing a mask where you can at least wear one of the disposable masks, so you can change those out, and those are still readily available. They're just tacky. So this is an option to place on top of those surgical masks, so you don't look like you're going into surgery. You look like you're running an errand and maybe even have a little bit of fun with your day. That's what these are for. And if you just so happen to, you know, be running an errand and you are, oh my goodness, I need to go in the store real quick, I don't have a mask. Most places are requiring you to wear a mask now. At least if you have, or not necessarily a mask, but a facial covering. So this is, you know, perfect for that. So with that said, I want you to think about what you can do and what you can promote. Right now, this mask, and I wish I had my mask on today and it didn't have this on there, but I wish I would have had something like this on that says, I make masks. And I guarantee, because everybody was looking at my mask today, because you know I had sublimated it or whatnot when I went to the post office. And if I had had something on there saying I make masks, I'm pretty sure people would have approached me and talked to me, because now people ain't approaching people and just talking to them randomly. You have to have a purpose, which you know, I'm kind of liking how people are responding to Corona. It's making people a lot more responsible, honestly, especially for other people's health and well-being. And I think that is one of the positive things to this negative situation. But where was I? So yes, you could be advertising for yourself that you make them. If you have a retail store and you require use of masks for your store, have some of these masks ready, have them hanging, you know, somewhere by the front door. And when a customer tries to come in, they don't have a mask, you can say, hey, we require masks. And they'll say, hey, I don't have a mask. What can I do? I really need something done. Well, you can either have a mask that has your logo all over it and say, well, I have a complimentary mask, here you go, and just eat that $2. Or, you know, if you're doing it for your store, you're at the bulk rate where you're doing them for $2. So eat that $2. It costs you pennies with the sublimation ink and the paper. Come on, like maybe 40 cents tops for 11 by 17 sheet of sublimation paper and your ink, okay? So for $2.50, you have a promotional item that when that person leaves your store, this is washable, this is reusable almost for a lifetime, because the sublimation is never going to crack, peel, or fade. You think that person isn't going to wear your logo to the next store and to the next store and to the next store? So I want you all to keep that in mind when you're thinking about the promotion aspect of these type of items. Secondly, I want you to think about the same reason why you would want to have these in your store is the reason why some other stores, and we're talking about major stores, want to have them. If you hear about Uber, it was either Uber or Lyft. I think it was Lyft. Or the grocery store companies. They were contracting Bella and Canvas to send them those really thin single plies, not even 2-ply, single ply masks that just had the logo of the company on it. And the reason why they were having those is because they were still driving around, you know, people who, it was an essential service. People need to get around, so transportation was an essential service. So they literally gave the people, the drivers, those thin, I think they gave them 2 apiece of those really thin t-shirt material masks. And that was what they considered appropriate to give their workers in a time like this. So I'm telling you to, you know, be aware of what's out there, be aware of the different price points, but also be aware of what you're able to do and what you're able to market. So if major companies like Uber or Lyft are purchasing those by the, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands and maybe even in the millions, then why can't you sell these? And I just want you to, you know, kind of put that in context, and that these are much higher quality, full color printing. They get attention, they look nice, they flow nicely over the face. It doesn't look like it's a struggle to have them on or to put them on, and you can wash and reuse them. The Bella Canvas ones, they were what did they claim they were disposable, even though it was fabric, so you couldn't wash them, and they were selling those for $2 a piece. So I want you to keep that in mind, what you can do with these, how far you can go. I want you to show me what you can do with them, how far you can go. Approach some local businesses, you know, maybe even like your local Target copy. Those are franchise businesses, but they are pretty much independently owned or your UPS stores. They're dealing with people coming out all day, and they are in one of the higher risk areas because they're dealing with a lot of different people exchanging products. They don't know where things have been. They're handling a lot of items. There's a lot of material, manual material handling going on there. And if they could have some masks available that maybe advertise their store or advertise their print services or that sort of thing, start getting creative and find out if these commercial businesses would like to work with you, because they are eager to get open. And this is a way that you can offer them a solution. Hey, I know you're worried about opening up, but at least this is something that you can offer your customers, that they have some type of facial covering when they enter your space, because nobody wants to turn away a paying customer. This is just a solution for that. So I'll check and see if y'all have any questions. That was just my little rant and my little spiel for today. Let me see. Have anything for me? And if not, then I'm going to take these next few minutes and go ahead and make these live on the website, because I promised y'all I would make these live today. So I'll go ahead and get on that. The template will be free. I'll have a link for that, and it'll be on the listing where you can purchase the mask. So the templates will be free. The mock-up that I have that'll show like how the design looks 3D on the face and that sort of thing, that will be $5. And I'll make a quick video of how to change that mock-up. And y'all are gonna be good. Y'all gonna be ready to go. I wanna see what y'all do with this. Money makers, this one, while I have y'all here, I'll show you what we did yesterday. Thanks, Leslie. We did the graduation stoles. So this is what happened. I thought y'all really wanted to know about these stoles, right? So let me put it on. But what y'all really wanted to know was about the toppers. And let me go grab my topper out of the room. So this is what your girl is working on today. So this is the one that I played with. I literally did this for the first time on screen. Like, sometimes my how-tos is teaching me how to do something too. So yesterday, you all wanted to know, like, how can we do the toppers? And I didn't think it was a thing, because most people just print the toppers onto some type of cardstock. It's just regular, you know, inkjet printed on there, and they hand that to the customer and say, hey, put that on top of your hat, you know, congratulations. What we're doing now is trying to play with different materials. So we did glitter, and I'll show you those really quick. We did glitter, flock, and the satin. Now I'm going to tell you why I like the satin, and that's because it matches the satin stole. Can you see that? And this is the one we did. We did full bleed on one side, and then we did 13 by 19 on the other side. But this matches that perfectly. So I'm going to start making these substrates tomorrow, and I'll let you know how many I have available. I'll probably be able to get at least 100 of these done, but they're going to be backed with the cardstock. And then on the front side, it'll have the polyester satin. And then what I'm doing is I'm singeing the edges with my heat tool, so that it doesn't fray, and it gives it a nice clean edge, so it stays low profile. So when they put this on their hats, I don't know why I put it on top of my head and I have a hat. I want you to see, this was one that we did the flocking, and the flocking is an expensive material. The glitter can be an expensive material, and you still have to put it on cardstock. You still have to cut them out. So I'm gonna have these available. I'll come up with my price tonight after I see how tired I am for making them tomorrow. No, so I'll come up with the price tomorrow then, because I really do. I have to make a bunch of them, see if it's worth my time making them, because y'all know I like to make templates. I'm just now getting into the substrates, but I have some great ideas and I want to share them with you. So this is going to be a substrate. You'll just put it on there. You'll bypass the button that's on there. If they have to remove the button, let that be their option. And most people are gluing these down literally with Elmer's glue, with I suggest Super 77. It's a really tacky permanent spray. People are doing hot glue. Like, you should see how people are decorating their caps. So this is going to be an upscale look, and of course it will be flat and flush on there. but they'll be, the measurement will be 9.25 by 9.25, because when I did the 9.5 by 9.5, I don't like the lip that it gives. And this was a prototype that I did on the back of a priority envelope. So now I know exactly how I want it to look. I got some really thick cardstock or cover stock in that I was waiting. I was waiting to do this tutorial till I got my cover stock, but y'all were pressing me so hard how to do these that I said, you know what, let me use this priority envelope and get this thing popping for you. So tomorrow I have a brand new substrate for you, and you can order them with the graduation stoles and save on shipping. So that was my other surprise for y'all. For the ones that came live tonight, y'all are going to be the first ones to hear about it. And when I probably will only have 100 of the first batch, so it's first come, first serve, whoever orders those. And I will send them out priority. If you need them priority express, let me know, and I can send you or make express an option for you. And I might just go ahead and do that anyway, because some people are really ready to get these out. So that's it. Let me see if y'all have any questions. Let's see. Y'all have any questions or comments before I let y'all go tonight and simmer on this? Let me move my little computer. My computer door. Because I think we're done. Yeah. Like I said, everything in here is on wheels. So even my laptop. And this is one of those ones that go different heights. Standing or sitting height. Oh, yes. You could trim them in the rhinestones. And I think that would be really great. As a matter of fact, I've seen that done a lot, and I'm telling you, most people are like hand designing these, like the students themselves, and they're looking like they're hodgepodge, kind of collaging things together. So when they see a finished, nice, formal product like this, the schools might actually start contracting you, because I'm gonna tell you what happens. The schools don't like these things decorated. The schools it's a uniform. It's a graduation ceremony. It's supposed to look like uniform and prestigious, but you know, we get out there and we got to show out a little bit. So when we show out, sometimes, you know, it's not in line with what they would like things to look like. So if you start having products that give people the personal touch, but also make it look really classy and professional, then you have kind of met both sides in the middle. And maybe you can contract with the schools then, so maybe you'll be the only person that can produce, you know, cap toppers. Because at first they were having graduations where they wouldn't allow people to do them, even at the universities. And then eventually people just started sneaking them, and they would take the toppers and put them on their cap right before they walked. And you know, you could hide anything under those big old gowns. And then so by the time they got on the stage, they would have the toppers on. What you're gonna say now? You just handed me my diploma. So maybe this is a way that can be a good merging of what the students want, what the faculty and the advisors would really prefer to see. And you have a nice, like, top of the line product where you can come in and, hey, mine is satin finish, it matches, you know, the stoles, and I can deliver this, you know, to your students, just like the photographers have things that they offer. So, and get in with the photographers. Graduation, I talked to Octavius today. He's a photographer in Florida, and he's getting into graduation now, and this is a really big market. So if you can team up with a photographer who really doesn't have any interest in producing these type of items, that could be money like in your hand on every given occasion, whether it be sports, events, weddings, birthday parties, you name it. People like to have photos on things. So, and we're not talking about just clothing, just t-shirts. You're talking about all kind of other substrates, from the picture frames to the pillows, etc. Funeral homes, you might want to team up with some funeral homes. They're always doing remembrance items and photo items. So this might be something. I did a photo for one of my good friends. Instead of doing a regular portrait on paper or canvas, I took a piece of this satin and I made a big frame. I think it was an 18 by 24 frame, and I sublimated onto this satin. And when I tell you, it had a luster to it, it was just a really, really nice touch. And she was able to take that and use that for the funeral services. And even the funeral home was like, well, what did you do and how did you do that? I even made him a handkerchief that went into his jacket that had all of the kids. He passed away and left, I think, three kids. And of course, sisters, mom, you know, siblings, cousins, all of those. And so we did a handkerchief where we put pictures of the family, but I did it like a paisley design or something that kind of like made it go together. And I did it in a color scheme that matched his suit. So nobody else could tell, you know, people when they looked at him and they really looked in the casket and they saw like, oh wow, that has his family members on it. It was sentimental. It was something that he was actually buried with that meant a lot to the people who were on that image. And at the same time, like that, it makes an impression that people will never forget, like how well you executed something like that. So I want y'all to keep that kind of stuff in mind. Those are things that I would like to bring to the community, start showing you some of that randomness that I come up with. And sometimes my randomness is last minuteness slash the reason why I be looking crazy like this when I go somewhere. Like I can't be made up for an event because I'm looking crazy because I didn't help everybody else get ready. That's my life. So I'm ready and willing to share that with you. So if y'all have any questions about what I can do, what I have done, what you've seen, like on my Instagram or Facebook, I'm willing to share those tips and tricks with you. I'm not hiding anything because more than likely I can sell it, okay? So y'all just let me know what y'all need. And I'm working on a senior, a senior magazine cover. So if y'all are interested in that, I should have that done hopefully by tomorrow, okay? So Jessie, I see you just joining us. How you doing, love? And it's late. Y'all get some sleep. It's almost midnight. And I'm gonna go online and go ahead and put up these substrates for you. So I appreciate you. I love you for real. And if y'all need anything, just let me know. All right. Peace out. Bye. I don't know how to stop the live, guys. Oh, there we go. Bye for real now.